Have you ever said something to yourself that changed everything, either for better or worse? Maybe it was just a thought. A quiet whisper in your mind. I can't do this. Or, this is mine. I'm ready for it. And then, something strange happened. The world seemed to respond. Doors either slammed shut or magically opened. Here's the truth, the universe is always listening. But it's not just listening to what you say out loud. It's tuning into what you say when no one else is around. Your inner voice. That constant stream of thoughts is not just background noise. It's the blueprint of your reality. Have you ever considered that the way you talk to yourself could shape your entire life? That every success, every failure, every opportunity, or block, might all start from a single sentence in your own mind? This isn't just motivational talk. Science backs it. Neuroscience has proven that your brain literally changes in response to your thoughts. Your self-talk forms patterns. And those patterns become your habits. Your habits become your actions. And your actions? They become your life. But here's the twist. Most people don't even realize they're sabotaging their dreams with the words they repeat in silence. What if I told you there's a way to speak to yourself that attracts abundance, love, success, even healing? In this video, you'll discover why your self-talk is your strongest tool, or your greatest enemy. How to break the cycle of negative mental programming. A powerful technique you can start today to rewire your brain for attraction. And a simple yet lesser-known practice used by high performers and ancient mystics alike to turn thoughts into real-world results. This is more than just positive thinking. It's about unlocking the language of your inner world and learning to command it in a way that reshapes your outer reality. So if you've been trying to manifest something for a while now, and you keep hitting a wall, then this video might just be the key you didn't know you were missing. Stay with us till the end. Because by the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to shift your inner voice and start attracting everything you desire, one thought at a time. Welcome to Bright Mind Within, where your mind becomes your greatest power. If you're ready to change your life, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Let's begin. Self-talk is the ongoing conversation we have with ourselves in our minds. It's that inner voice that comments on what we're doing, thinking, or feeling. Sometimes it's loud and clear, and other times it's so subtle we don't even realize it's there. But it's always present, quietly shaping how we see ourselves and the world around us. This internal dialogue can take two very different forms, positive or negative. Positive self-talk is uplifting, supportive, and encouraging. It sounds like, I've got this, or I can figure it out. It builds confidence and pushes us forward, even when things get hard. On the other hand, negative self-talk is harsh, critical, and limiting. It often shows up as doubt, fear, or blame. I always mess things up. I'll never be good enough. These words may seem small, but they carry a heavy weight. What we tell ourselves over and over becomes our belief system. If we constantly feed our mind with negative thoughts, we start to believe in our limits more than our potential. We start to expect failure instead of success. This influences our emotions, making us feel anxious, frustrated, or unworthy. And those emotions affect how we act. We might stop trying, miss opportunities, or settle for less, not because we can't do more, but because we've talked ourselves out of it. Self-talk is like a script that runs behind the scenes, guiding every move we make. The words we speak to ourselves are not just thoughts, they're instructions to the brain. And the brain listens carefully. It begins to filter reality through those words, finding proof of what we already believe. That's why one person sees an obstacle, and another sees a chance. It all depends on the story they're telling themselves inside. Positive self-talk doesn't just feel good, it actually changes how your brain works. Every time you repeat an uplifting, empowering thought, you're shaping the structure of your mind. This is called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated experiences. When you speak positively to yourself, especially with intention and emotion, your brain begins to build new pathways that support focus, motivation, and clarity. The more you practice positive self-talk, the stronger these neural connections become. Over time, your brain starts working with you instead of against you. It becomes easier to stay focused, to push through challenges, and to stay committed to your goals. What once felt hard or impossible begins to feel natural. Because your brain is no longer doubting you, it's reinforcing your belief in yourself. Deep inside the brain is something called the default mode network, or DMN. This network becomes active when your mind is at rest, when you're daydreaming, reflecting, or visualizing. It's during these quiet moments that your thoughts settle in and take root. Positive self-talk, repeated consistently, can embed itself deep into this network. That means your goals, your affirmations, your intentions, they begin to live in your subconscious. And once something takes root there, it starts to influence everything you see and do. When your internal dialogue is filled with positive, goal-oriented thoughts, your brain starts to scan your environment differently. It begins to recognize possibilities, resources, and paths you may have missed before. You become more alert to opportunities that align with what you want. It's not magic, it's the brain doing what it's designed to do: filter the world based on what you believe. And if your self-talk tells your brain, "I'm ready for success," it will start to show you exactly where to find it. The first step to changing your self-talk is awareness. Most people go through their day without even noticing the things they say to themselves. But those quiet thoughts, those subtle whispers in the back of your mind, are powerful. Start by listening. Catch yourself in moments of stress, doubt, or disappointment. What do you say when something doesn't go as planned? What words run through your head when you look in the mirror or think about your future? Becoming aware of these patterns is the key to taking back control. Once you recognize negative self-talk, the next step is to challenge it. Don't accept those thoughts as facts. Ask yourself, is this really true? Would I say this to someone I love? Often, you'll realize these thoughts are just old stories, maybe passed down, maybe formed through past failures, but they're not your reality. Reframing these thoughts is where transformation begins. Instead of "I always mess this up," try "I'm still learning, and I get better every time." It's a small shift, but it opens the door to possibility. To support this shift, start using positive affirmations. These are short, powerful statements that reflect who you want to become or what you want to achieve. Say them out loud. Write them down. Repeat them daily. I am capable. I am attracting success. I deserve happiness. The more you say them, the more your mind begins to accept them as true. And don't stop there, see it in your mind. Visualization is a tool that strengthens your affirmations. Picture yourself living the life you want. Feel it, believe it, experience it mentally before it shows up physically. When you visualize with emotion and clarity, your brain responds as if it's already happening. And that, in turn, makes your self-talk even more powerful. There are countless stories of people who have completely changed their lives simply by changing the way they speak to themselves. One example is Jim Carrey. Before he became a famous actor, he was broke and struggling. But every day, he repeated powerful affirmations and visualized success. He even wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and dated it for a future year. He carried it in his wallet and looked at it often. Years later, he received a movie role that paid him exactly $10 million. It wasn't luck, it was belief, repetition, and self-talk that trained his mind to expect success. Another well-known example is Serena Williams. She often talks about how her mental game is just as important as her physical skill. From a young age, she trained herself to repeat phrases like "I am the best" and "I believe in myself" during practices and before matches. That inner confidence built over time, helping her stay strong under pressure and rise to the top. These stories show that self-talk isn't just motivation, it's mental conditioning. But it doesn't happen overnight. The mind doesn't change in a day. It takes consistency. You have to show up for yourself every day, especially when you don't feel like it. Positive self-talk is a daily practice, just like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. And patience is key. At first, your brain might resist. It's used to the old way of thinking. But the more you repeat empowering thoughts, the more natural they become. Over time, they settle into your subconscious, shaping how you think, feel, and act. The people who see the biggest transformations are the ones who keep going, even when results don't show up right away. Because deep change begins quietly, in the words you choose to say to yourself. The way you speak to yourself shapes every part of your life. Your self-talk creates your mindset, your actions, and ultimately, your reality. When you begin to speak with confidence, love, and belief, the world around you starts to shift. Opportunities appear. Challenges seem smaller. And your goals feel closer than ever before. You don't need anything outside of you to begin, just your words. Start small. Notice your thoughts. Replace the negative ones. Speak kindly to yourself. Affirm your strength, your worth, and your vision. With time, your brain will follow. And when your brain believes in your future, your life starts to rise to meet it. So, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Right now. One thought at a time, one word at a time. Because when you change your words, you change your world. If this message spoke to you, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Bright Mind Within, for more powerful insights that help you shape the life you truly want.